Hello fellow cine enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today I will be reviewing Baby Driver from 2017. Baby Driver is a really good car movie and just like an all-around very interesting story, something a little different. It was directed by Edgar Wright, who is known for doing The End of the World, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, silly movies like that, and he goes a little bit serious with Baby Driver, and it is great. It is a very good movie all around. Before I get into why Baby Driver is really good, let me give you a little bit of the summary. Baby Driver is about this kid named Baby, or called Baby. That is like his nickname because he runs with this guy called Doc, played by Kevin Spacey, and he does like heists and he steals stuff. They're like a group of thieves, and all the crew is different every time. So the beginning, Baby is working with these guys named Griff, Buddy, and a woman called Darling, and they pull off a bank heist and it all goes well. They get their cut. We learn that Baby is actually in debt to Doc because he did something when he was much younger, Baby, that he has to pay Doc back. So he gets only a tiny bit of a cut, but he works his debt off pretty much to Doc. Baby lost his parents when he was young in a car accident, and he has like flashbacks to that every once in a while, and he always goes to the diner, Bo's Diner, where his mother used to work. He goes in there one day and he meets this new girl named Deborah, played by Lily James, and he is very smitten with her from the beginning. She sings a song that he really likes, and he records her. He actually records conversations that he has with people, and then he like goes in his house and he like remixes them with music and things like that. So he takes Deborah, her singing a song, and she's like, oh, you're recording me and everything. So they start dating after a while, and Baby does his last run with Doc, or what he thinks is his last run, but Doc pulls him back into this, stealing and being the getaway driver of, these heists. This new job that Baby is put on is run with Buddy, who's played by John Hamm, and Darling, and he's also put on the team with this really ridiculous guy named Bats, played by Jamie Foxx. The heist is set up to get money orders, about I don't even know how many boxes, but a whole bunch of boxes of money orders, and then Doc has a guy who can write them out, and that's how they're gonna make like a shit ton of money. So Baby and Bats are supposed to be teamed off with each other, and Buddy and Darling are supposed to go in. The heist goes totally wrong, and everyone starts getting shot at and shot up and all this stuff, and things go south for Baby, and all he wants to do is just drive away with Deborah off to wherever they can go and just listen to a killer soundtrack. That's all that he wants to do. That's all that Deborah wants to do. They want to do it together, and you just see Baby's dreams kind of like falling by the wayside, after the heist goes wrong. You're like, oh no, this poor kid, but it all ends up pretty well in the end, so that's fine. One thing that is really kind of important to know about Baby Driver is that it is set to a really good soundtrack. They have all kinds of music going on in here. There's like classic 50s, like girl group songs, and you have like all these rock songs and things like that. Baby is very, very into music. He always has his iPod earbuds in, and he's got different iPods with different playlists for like every occasion. He has to drive to a soundtrack. Like, that is his thing. He has to drive to a soundtrack. So it's always something that like really gets him pumped. His one song that gets him pumped is actually Brighton Rock by Queen, which is a good song. It's a song I haven't listened to in a while, so I was like, oh, I gotta get this song. Like, my brothers are obsessed with Queen, so I've heard it, and it was just such a good, the soundtrack really added to the movie, to the story. It was very central to the story, which I thought was really cool and something a little bit different, because it wasn't billed as like a musical. It wasn't built around something about music. The story was about this getaway driver Baby, and this group, like this gang group of guys that goes off and does heists, but the soundtrack was central to the character of Baby because he just really liked music, and so did Deborah. So that really like worked in the way of, you know, bringing them together and then working around the story of Baby. That was really cool. The cast of Baby Driver was really awesome. Yeah, I forgot to mention that Ansel Elgort, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is Baby. Excellent choice. I thought he was great. Lily James, right now I just have a massive girl crush on her. I think she's absolutely adorable. So I really liked her in this. Her and Ansel Elgort were really good together. She did a great job playing Deborah. Just every scene she was in, she was just knocked it out. John Bernthal was at the beginning. He played Griff, and I gotta say, holy shit, that man was really hot at the beginning. Like, I don't normally find John Bernthal attractive. Like, to me, he's a little weird looking, but goddamn, he was really hot. Like, his character had all these tattoos, he had his nails painted black, he was just, like, being a real tough guy, and I was like, fuck me up, John Bernthal. Like, holy shit. He was really hot. John Hamm, he played Buddy, and I will say it like John Bernthal. Fuck me up. Holy shit. He was really hot. John Hamm was the bad guy. Buddy was like the big bad guy in this. And like, I don't know how, but his character kept getting shot at and hurt, and he just was not dying. But oh my God, John Hamm, that guy can do no wrong. He does comedy perfectly. He does drama perfectly. He's just insanely amazing. Like, I loved him. For me, he was part of what made this movie for me. He was just fantastic. Like, all his scenes were awesome. Kevin Spacey really doesn't do anything for me normally, and he really didn't do anything for me as Doc, but he was good because he had that kind of air of a leader and, you know, like being seedy and everything. So he was good as Doc. Jamie Foxx, oh my God, he did such an awesome job with Bats, because Bats you are not supposed to like at all. And Bats was an asshole. And Jamie Foxx, like, you really hated him. And like, that was the whole point of Bats. Like, you just were not supposed to like him. He was an arrogant piece of shit. He was annoying as hell. And he was just like, you know, quick to anger, quick to do things. And Jamie Foxx did such a great job. He's another actor that really doesn't impress me too much. But he was just awesome in this. I really liked him in Baby Driver a lot. The rest of the cast, I'm not sure who they were, but everyone was perfect. Everyone was great. It was like Edgar Wright, I don't know if he had a hand in casting this movie, but whoever cast this movie just did a wonderful job. Edgar Wright, as I said, he wrote and directed Shaun of the Dead, The End of the World, Hot Fuzz, funny movies. He did funny movies. And usually his dialogue in his movies are really good. Like, out of most of his movies, I know I've definitely seen Shaun of the Dead. The End of the World, I think I've seen once, and I wasn't, like, outrageously impressed with it. Like, I didn't really care for it, but Shaun of the Dead is a movie I've watched with my friends over the years, and we all kind of like watching it together. You know, the guy just has, like, great dialogue in his movies. Like, in Baby Driver, there's just some conversations, I was like, damn, that is really good. Like, just all the dialogue was great. I mean, I was, like, kind of, like, blown away by some of it. It was just so good, so well written. Everything, every, like, piece of dialogue in this movie was just great. And, you know, that's not something you see a lot in movies today. So, really liked it. His direction was, like, flawless. He just had really great scenes, really great angles. He just really knew how to film each character. So Edgar Wright did an amazing job. So that was my review for Baby Driver. If you liked this review in any way, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you have seen Baby Driver. What was your favorite part about it? Who did you like in the cast? Who do you think had the best acting? Whatever you want to discuss, leave your comments down below. And also in the comments, if you have any suggestions of what I should watch next, be them old movies or new movies, leave them there. And if I pick your movie and I watch it and I review it, I will give you a shout out. Who doesn't want a shout out in a YouTube video? How freaking cool is that? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Let's Get Reelz movie reviews. And also hit that bell notification too, so that you know whenever I upload, because sometimes my uploading schedule isn't that great. So if you hit that bell notification, you will get the alert for when I do. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.